Hello everyone watching at home. It's the very last run of UKSM Winter. It's a bittersweet time whenever we come to the last run of a big marathon like this. It's great because it's going to be an awesome run, but it's sad because it's over. So, well, it's not over yet, so don't get too sad. We do still have the run to go. Before I do hand things over to LeCadd for Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, all bosses and mini-bosses unrestricted, do remember that what we're doing today is trying to raise money for Special Effect. We have already managed to raise £1,300 for the charity. That was our stretch goal to hit, and we have hit it. But that doesn't mean that you can't donate over the next 2 hours. Please do, because Special Effect is a fantastic charity, and they definitely deserve your support. With all of that said, it is 8:29, which means it's time for me to hand over the reins for the very last time of the year to LeCadd. Please go ahead and
Thank you very
start
much.
whenever you're ready.
So yeah, hello there everyone. I'm LeCadd and very happy to close this event with this amazing game, which is Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. I'm not alone though. I have my good fellow Murtog for co-commentating. How you doing, Murtog?
Yeah, I'm doing great, LeCadd. Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
It's gonna be fantastic. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. So yeah, all bosses, mini bosses. So we will have to fight every single main bosses and every mini bosses of the game. So it is like almost like between 45 and 50 fights in total in the game. And unrestricted means all the glitches are allowed, skips, you know, etc, etc. You will see a lot today, for sure. But don't worry, there's no many glitches. The main aspect is still the fights, so no worries. So timer starts as soon as I click on new game, right there. So I guess we'll just start in a few secs. So start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck, LeCadd. It's going to be fun.
It's gonna be fun, yeah. So nothing much to say at the beginning. This is a tutorial. We're just gonna make our way, and that's gonna be it. So the reason I'm jumping around right there, it's not for nothing. It's because I actually can't sprint at the beginning because I don't have my sword, and for some reason, if you don't have your sword, you can't sprint. So I'm just jumping around. It's actually faster than just jogging. And when you do this game casually, it tells you like to go in a stealth way, but like this is a speedrun, right? We have to go fast, so I'm just gonna jump in around and try to avoid getting hit in the back. There's actually a chance of me dying over here, so I'm gonna just pray, I guess. It seems to be alright.
It's always a bad omen if you get shot at the start, but
yeah,
it doesn't happen that often.
But it can happen.
It definitely happen. I've had it happen at a marathon.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's yeah, that's unfortunate when it happens because you have to go all at the beginning, but we did it, so that's all that matters. So now I have my sword and my healing gourd. Very important to pick that up because otherwise you can't do the next things. And we are going to fight actually the first mini bosses of the game. It should be alright, but you know my health bar is really low, so I can die, but it should be okay though.
Yeah, so he has really low health, so he'll die in one hit. This is the tutorial boss, and they basically made the tutorial really, really squishy. So if you're being aggro like how you're supposed to play the game, he dies in ridiculously fast.
That's alright.
So, yeah.
And you can actually die from the boss, but there's actually a few enemies in your back, and they can just come here and stab you in the back, like, for no reason, because everyone hates you in this game, so it can happen. It happens to me a lot, but it didn't this time, so this is okay.
Yeah, in the tutorial, they're kind of supposed to leave you alone if you're fighting the boss. As you saw, none of them attacked him. But occasionally, they just decide that they are going to.
And this is not a mandatory boss, mid-boss actually. You can just skip him. Like, you can just go make your way and just ignore him. So now we're gonna do like a very intense fight. This was the fight. The reason I'm dying here, it's very simple, is because it has not, like, there's no interest in fighting this boss. The reason is because if you can actually beat him, but if you beat him, like, the result is the same. You will spawn where I just spawned here, so no need to do that.
Yeah, this category wasn't a thing like right when the game very first came out, because instead people did all beads and memories, which is kind of close to this category, but that skips out about maybe like 7, 8 of the fights that this category does. And it was a bit of a debate whether that Ganitro fight should be required, but it was decided that it doesn't really count because you don't really kill Genitro, like not even mechanically.
Yeah.
And also that it would be a huge pain for newer runners because it's very difficult to kill Genitro in that early phase. And it would just be a reset every time you failed. So you don't need to do it. So here we've got the general, who's like basically just a slightly souped up version of tutorial boss. Got a couple of extra moves, got our first perilous attacks. As you see there, he got the tutorial about how to jump over the sweeping attacks. Yeah, no problem.
I just got hit like once, but yeah, that was alright.
Yeah, you might have noticed there that actually so most mini boss in the game has 2 HP bars. You see the HP bars in the top left, and you can actually get rid of one of them straight away by doing a stealth death blow by sneaking up on the boss. That's what he did. He from stealth did an aerial death blow. We're going to do the same thing here. This is quite a tricky one to get. That's why you needed to pick up the Gatchin Sugar so that he could stealth to get this death blow. Probably most of you who play this game casually didn't know that it was even possible to stealth death blow this chain ogre. But he's a really tanky boss, so it saves a lot of time to get that stealth death blow. That's 1 HP bar straight down. And then he's going to go to the others. So yeah, we're introduced to another kind of perilous attack. The perilous attacks are when the red like kanji appears above Sekiro's head. They're attacks that can't be blocked normally. You have to deal with them in some special way. Grabs, we just need to dodge out of the way. The sweeps, we jump, and then the thrusts, we will Mikiri counter once we've unlocked it, which will be pretty soon-ish, I think. So yeah, no problem, chain ogre, straightforward fight.
So right there you notice that there was another mini-boss. Just have to know, on this category we don't fight every boss and mid-boss like in the right order. There's some bosses that we are going to fight later, and this one is one of them. We're going to fight this mid-boss later because we are too weak for the moment. Like we don't do like as much as damages that we'll do in later. So we're just gonna ignore him for the moment, but we'll get back. This is why I took the idol, by the way.
Yeah, the routing in this game has gone under several revisions, and it's quite well thought out. There's a lot of considerations because on one hand it's really convenient to kill the bosses as you go past them, but on the other hand you get much stronger later in the game, and also you get mortal draw, which speeds up bosses a lot, as we will see. So with every boss it's like, is it worth it to trek all the way back to them if it's faster? And with a lot of bosses it actually is faster to come back later, and that's an example of one of them. Here's the snake. The snake has no RNG to its behavior, so we just can do the exact same movement every time and get past. It's not nowhere near as scary as it looks.
But if you do one mistake, it can one-shot you. So that's,
yeah, if you make a movement error,
like
yeah,
this is the
scary.
problem in this game. Like there's a lot of things that are pretty okay, but the problem is like if you do one mistake, you get one shot. So that's a problem.
Yeah, it's very punishing for mistakes.
So now we're gonna do what we're gonna do. This is a big word, but like we're gonna fight, I guess, the first true boss of the game, the main boss. And
yeah. And this is the first time that we're gonna basically divert from a glitchless route. So we're gonna do something that would be banned in glitchless now. So we're going to basically get Gobu to kill himself by walking off the edge. This is a pretty well-known glitch called Gobu Skip. It's great for this category because it actually also kills the boss. Like if it just skip the boss, that wouldn't be good enough. So it turns out if you do a delayed jump off the top of that tower, you can actually jump to the outer wall. Delayed jump is kind of an interesting mechanic in this game, where basically if you jump right at the very last second, then off an edge, Sekiro like runs in the air and then jumps. That's why it's called a delayed jump, and you get much more distance. So if you look carefully at Sekiro's feet when he gets this, you'll see that he actually steps on the ground. Yeah, that first jump actually isn't as easy as it looks either, because it's not intended.
Yeah. Okay. There's a few problems, I guess, but yeah, that's okay. I'm
Yeah,
just gonna redo like every time. That's okay.
yeah,
You can
this is
just
no
like quit
problem.
out, and you know,
Yeah,
you can do it as much as you can. It loses time, but I have a pretty high estimate, so it's gonna be okay.
yeah, we've got plenty of time for this stuff, and it still saves a lot of time by doing this trick. So we're probably barely losing any time, if anything, even on third try.
Well, if I fail it again, I think I'm gonna lose him, but this is okay. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
This
it's
is a good
fine.
showcase. That's all that matters, I guess.
Yeah, like this is a tricky thing. Like he's not just like jumping at the edge is not good enough. Like he won't get the distance. So what he's doing is like delayed jumps are very finicky, and their like window for how long frame window is determined on like the slope and the angle that you run off the platform.
Right.
So he's trying to walk off at a very particular point such that it's reasonably lenient, and then time it just right. So it's quite like precision. It's like movement precise and timing precise. Um, most of the skips in this run are fairly difficult in my opinion. So
This is
this
one
is
of the not the hardest one, but it's complicated, I guess. At least for me to get consistent on, because yeah, if you are a little bit too much on the right, you fail. If you're a little bit too much on the left, you fail.
yeah, it's quite finicky. It can take. I think there was someone in the Discord recently that was like, "This took me like half an hour to get it once," like, and it's like, yeah, don't worry, it's all good. Oh,
Yeah.
nice, there you
Finally.
go. Yeah. Yeah, so my view is like 3 seconds delayed. So if I react to everything a bit late, that's why.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, well done. So yeah, now we're outside the arena. The invisible walls that would normally keep Gobu in are disappear, which means that he can happily walk off the edge, which kills him. So easy peasy. Yeah, and that's Gobu Skip.
One thing important to say, as you just saw, I used like a memory. When you kill every main bosses of the game, you get a memory, and the memory is like an item, I will say, and you can use to increase your power attack to deal way much damages. And but this is only main bosses that give you that, not mid bosses though.
Yeah, so
So
whenever memory and gets permanently more attack power, and the first couple in particular make a massive difference. So yeah, he really wants to get through the first couple as quickly as possible, which is part of the reason why he skipped the mini boss. To go straight to Gobu to pick up that. He's like 40% more damage now, something like that.
I just died here, but as you saw, that was weird though. There was an enemy coming in the area. It wasn't. That was strange, but that's alright.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, my stream lagged out a second, but I'm back now.
That's alright.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
That's scary. Just gonna heal just to be sure.
yeah, Bull. At the start of the fight, and you just hope that it goes perfectly. But if it doesn't go perfectly, it gets pretty sketchy pretty fast, as you saw.
Okay, that's alright. So what I'm going to do, I'm gonna use my. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, my stream is going wild.
Yeah, I can't tell if it's just me.
No,
It'd
it's
be
not.
technical
No,
difficulties.
it's not only you. No worries.
It's alright. Okay.
I'm gonna try to do something. Okay, I got an idea.
Okay.
Okay, my bad.
It's all good. We will get this sorted as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I should be alright now. Like, tell me if everything's fine. Yeah, sorry for the little problem, but should be back
I mean,
now. It should be okay.
Yeah, it looks okay to me.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, sorry for this little problem. I don't
Yeah,
know what happened. But,
I was just checking my internet to make sure it wasn't me.
No, it was on my side. No, my bad. I don't know what happened. But this is okay, seems fixed now.
Cool, yeah, yeah. Shadow, again, starting with the aerial death blow, so we only need to do 1 HP bar. Oh no! Okay, it looks okay for me. Quick, tech, save.
Yeah, sorry. That's my fault. Oh, that's okay?
Sorry to stream.
Yeah, sorry. That's my fault. Yeah, this is completely my fault, guys. I'm so
Okay, I
sorry,
won't put
but
it in
no
the
worries.
note, that
Everything is gonna
seems
be
too
fine now.
difficult.
We're gonna see the. Okay?
Sorry for those technical difficulties, stream. We should be good to start going again now, though.
Yeah, this is completely my fault, guys. I'm so sorry, but no worries. Everything is gonna be fine now. We're gonna see the game. I promise. Let's go. Okay, so.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna try to play my best. I'm gonna do the fight casually because it wasn't very nice to me. I was trying to then angle him, but yeah, he can sometimes backdash, and it's really complicated to go back on it. So I'm just gonna do the fight normally. And that was okay. That was alright. So let's continue.
Yeah, Lone Shadow is actually a really nice mini boss to fight once you've learned his attack patterns. I enjoy fighting Lone Shadows.
The only problem with this particular Lone Shadows is actually it's not the boss, but it's where you fight the boss. The area is very little actually, and the problem with Sekiro and a lot of From Software game, if not all the From Software game, is the camera. Like if you get too close of a wall and the boss is like, you know, attacking you, the camera can go freaking wild and might be a problem. But that was alright on this fight.
Yeah.
Like, it can happen. Like I remember when I did this fight casually the first time I did the game. Man, I was savage, man. Like it was a pain, but it's okay. You can you learn to deal with it actually when you speedrun it.
Yeah. It's something you start to learn to look out for is if the camera gets stuck in an awkward situation, it can automatically de-lock you off the boss fight, and so you need to like watch out for that and be ready if that does happen. It can be quite sketchy. So here is a Snake Eyes. I think a lot of people casually really struggled with this boss, but we're gonna make her look pretty easy. So this is the first instance of dead angling. So there's a mechanic which is, I think, in every software game where there's kind of a weird thing where if you're not facing someone, then they don't block your attacks. It exists in a few different ways in different games. But yeah, so that's how it looks in Sekiro. And basically, because she never blocks, she gets hit every time, so she just gets stun locked. That saves a couple of seconds over fighting her head on. It's trickier than it looks because you need to get her in quite a specific position.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the hell is going. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I swear. Like I don't know, man. I don't know. Let me see. Ah, come on. Let me start the stream and restart. Maybe I don't know. Yeah. So sorry, guys. Yeah.
And like attacking a very
It doesn't make sense because like on Discord everything is fine, but
yeah, it's just
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, dudes. Okay, I'm back.
Yeah,
So
it's you know, you've done loads of marathon runs, and you're doing exactly the same to what you normally do.
yeah,
and
I don't know, like just
do,
yeah, I
and
don't know,
this time
like
it's weird.
it's just a life said no, so I don't
Yeah.
know, but it's like okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's
So just to clarify for people watching at home, we've had some really strange issues over on LeCadd's Twitch. None of us can figure out what it's doing. Hopefully, it'll stop doing what it's doing, and we'll be able to go on as normal.
I hope, but yeah, it should be back now. Okay,
yeah, looks back to me.
should I go?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, go
Okay,
ahead.
let's go. Okay, so once again, I'm so sorry. I don't know what the hell is going on, but yeah. Hopefully, I have like my monitor showing me what's going on, so I can react as soon as it happens. But yeah, I'm trying my best.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to focus on the run again. So here I'm talking to a specific NPC. Really important to talk to him because otherwise you can't talk to another NPC later, and you can't go like you can continue the game. So really important to talk to him. So here I'm gonna save my purse and I'm gonna buy the firecrackers, and then I'm gonna go back to the beginning of the game. There's a mechanic in the game called the prosthetics. This is like it's not weapons, but this is things that can help you in the game. So there's firecrackers, shurikens. There's actually another. What is it like an axe? I don't remember everything, but
Yeah, there's an umbrella.
there's an umbrella that can help you blocking the attacks. Actually, the umbrella is really cool. Actually, it's a pretty good item.
Yeah, underrated prosthetic.
It is. So I'm gonna equip them. Well, build them first and then equip them. So, the shurikens, the spear, and the firecracker.
Yeah, and they are going to help us out a decent amount. The shuriken and the spear will be used for only very specific fights, but they will make a big difference in those fights. And the firecrackers will probably see more use, I think. But yeah, they're all kind of have their own specific uses.
Yeah.
The firecrackers in particular are really good. If you're playing this game casually, number one tip, Mortal Blade is OP, but number two tip is firecrackers are really good. Use firecrackers.
Yeah, by far. Like firecrackers is probably the best prosthetic in the game.
I would say definitely.
Like even casually for speedrunning and everything. Like this prosthetic is OP.
Yeah, I feel like I got really debated by the game because it tells you that it's really good against animals, which it is, but it actually just works on almost every enemy.
Yeah, it's like it's wonderful for every single enemies, even like small enemies like here.
Yep.
And now, okay, let's concentrate because this is the toughest mid-boss in the entire run.
Yeah, this is Miss Noble. It's I mean,
oh man, I'm on an insane pace, man. Look at that fight. Yeah. That was fast, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
I mean, I've seen enough people miss the stealth death bow because they're not really paying attention.
Yeah, you're saying this, but I was actually going to miss it. But that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, I noticed you didn't get the aerial version, but it's fine.
Oh my god. Okay, so spoiler now. That was a joke. This is not the hardest mid-boss in the run. Actually, this mid-boss, to die on this mid-boss, I don't think you can even die to this boss. I don't know, man. Like
you can if you stand there and do nothing. It does eventually do a very slow attack, and it can kill you.
Yeah, if you stand there for like 15 minutes, yeah, you can probably die. But
it is possible to die. Yeah.
If you forgot to press pause, yeah, you can die. But no, it should be okay.
Yeah. So we're just running through more of the game here towards Corrupted Monk. Corrupted Monk is a very special boss fight in any unrestricted category because it lets us get Mibu breathing technique, which lets us swim underwater, which you will see why that is a big deal soon. So we're going to be doing that. But the strategy we're going to use for fighting Corrupted Monk is going to be particularly interesting. Okay. I guess first you're grabbing some items.
So yeah, the items. I'm going to grab the confettis. We're going to use them like way later on a special mid-boss. I ain't gonna say anything for the moment, but you will see. It's gonna be some pretty nasty stuff. I'm telling you that.
Yeah. So, yeah, Corrupted Monk, basically, it's going to be a very interesting strategy here, where basically the boss doesn't aggro in a wide enough cone to spot you if you walk around the edge, like LeCadd did. And then if you push the boss backwards enough, then you can actually do an aerial death blow like that. So, as far as the boss is concerned, the boss never saw LeCadd. Like, those firecrackers did not aggro her, because he was behind her, so she can't see. And that lets us do a stealth death blow. We just need a way to push her backwards. And the firecrackers do a great job pushing her backwards. So another great reason to use the firecrackers.
Yeah, Firecrackers is OP, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, then we pick up the Shelter Stone. The Shelter Stone is one of the 3 items we need to push towards the later stage of the game. Basically, our objective for completing the game is to get the Shelter Stone, the Lotus Flower, and the Mortal Blade, and then Owl will come and invade, and the story will progress. Obviously, we're kind of here to kill everything, not just finish the game, but obviously we want to do that. And we will do that fairly quickly, just because we want to get through the bosses to get more attack power, so we can kill the mini-bosses faster.
So now we go back to the Ashino Castle. We're gonna make our way to the next main bosses, but we're gonna use something funky. If I can get it. No, I missed it. Okay.
Yeah, so this is another delayed jump we talked about before. So again, tricky.
Yeah.
This one's, would you say, I've not actually done this one very much. It's about as difficult, maybe slightly easier.
This one is, I will say this one is not difficult to do, but easy to miss, like I just did. So this is the problem, but nah, it's not that much of a deal. That's not that much of a problem.
All delayed. It's like a PB.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Upsides because
It doesn't make sense because, like, yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So what should I do?
Yeah. We need.
No, OBS. Yeah, I found it, but I have to stop the stream quickly.
Yeah.
Shit,
Okay. Yeah.
man,
You can
man,
restart it.
yeah, man, that sucks. That sucks so much. I don't know what's going on.
It's all good.
I don't know either. That's the problem.
We might actually be close to estimate. It's getting quite intense.
This is why I put the high estimate.
Yeah. Exactly. Our estimate really does
I'm gonna
account
put
for this.
myself on. I don't know, because I'm in Canada, so I can use, because I was on Odo, so I can make Canada, Toronto, or US East, New York. I don't know. I'm gonna try New York.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yep. Dude, I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know what the hell is going on. Let me restart OBS actually. I'm so sorry, like this is insane. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but like the thing is I don't know what's going on, so this is why I'm pissed off a little bit, but yeah.
Hey guys, we're trying to get this problem
Yeah, go for it.
sorted as quick as we can.
Okay.
Strangely enough, LeCadd and Murtag are both coming through perfectly fine on Discord. It's just for some reason LeCadd's Twitch stream is throwing a real fit.
God, if you listen.
We've changed. We're trying to change.
God, if you listen to
Twitch,
me, please.
Twitch servers.
Be nice.
LeCadd is currently praying to the Lord above So
God,
hopefully
someone,
we'll
if
be
you're
able
here.
to have this up and running very soon.
We're here. That's good enough, right?
You
Okay, we've now switched servers to New York. Hopefully, New York, the city that never sleeps, will not send
Yeah, hopefully New
UKSM
York
to
is better than
sleep.
Montreal. We'll see.
Hopefully
Montreal, we'll see.
you can take
Oh my
take
god.
off
Okay,
again
let's go
whenever you
back
want.
again, will ya? Oh my god. Okay, let's go back again, will ya?
Yeah,
Okay.
it looks good to me.
Okay.
Yeah. So you got the delayed jump, and you got to a piece of collision that you're not supposed to be able to get to. You get out of bounds, and then LeCadd went by swimming underwater out of bounds. It lets him just escape the water while swimming, and well, there you go. He can swim in the air. Amazing. This is called air swimming, and it's only allowed in Unrestricted. And we're going to see it a few times, I think. So we'll see it again. So we'll do the same jump. So now we're into Ganitro, a quite interesting fight. Another example of dead angling here. So the same thing, get the boss in a corner, and then if we don't look at the boss will not aggro on us. Sorry, not block our attacks. So we'll get pretty much stun locked. It is possible for Ganitro to jump and do his arrow attack, but that usually doesn't kill you, so it's kind of fine. So he does have to do something a bit precise here. With every 5th attack, he has to kind of face Genitro, but then immediately turn again. So it's not as easy as it looks. But we use the Divine Confetti as well because we deal more Vitality damage, and we're going for Vitality kills there. And here we're in the phase 3. This is a bit of a lottery fight. We basically just want to see the lightning. So yeah, we got 1 lightning. We want to see 2 lightnings really quickly is what we want to see. Because by jumping and reversing the lightning before we land, then we do really big damage really fast.
Okay.
So that was a pretty average fight.
Yeah, that was
1
alright.
lightning.
I will say, like, for a long run, like all bosses, this is still okay. This is still a decent fight. But like, if you're going for shorter categories, like any percent or anything, yeah, you really want double lightning, because otherwise you lose too much time.
Yeah, there's quite a big dice roll on that fight. Probably up to 10 seconds either way, just based on RNG, because the lightnings are so much faster than him doing not lightnings.
So now, well, we're just gonna talk a little bit. So if you have something to, I don't know, if you have donations, something to read, something to say, this is actually a pretty good moment. It doesn't seem to.
Yep, that's all good. That's all good. I was going to mention actually, there's actually tech to this. He doesn't have subtitles on, and that's very intentional because, as we discovered, like a year after this game came out, which is very embarrassing for us. But if you have subtitles off, by exiting out of dialogue by pressing start, then you just skip that dialogue, assuming that you've got all the items and all the branching dialogue that you need. Whereas if you just mash A, sorry, if you have subtitles on, you have to go through the whole dialogue for it to count, which is super strange. None of us know why turning off subtitles makes the dialogue act differently, but it does, and it saves actually a lot of time. This is the second longest dialogue. Later on, there's a much longer dialogue, and it saves a huge amount of time just in that one.
Yeah, there's a big section later on in the run when you have to talk like again and again and again and again. So yeah, thank God there's the dialogue skip, because mashing is boring as support. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it used to be like a surprisingly important part of the run is like mashing correctly, and now it's a lot less important.
Yeah, now it's more manageable, doable. So yeah, you remember the air swim? We're gonna do it again.
Yeah, so we're going to use the exact same place to get out of bounds. This time, LeCadd stream won't break, and you will see it. So he'll do the delayed jump. He jumps off the air.
I jumped like a little bit too early, I think.
Yeah.
But this is okay.
It didn't quite get the right double jump.
But as you just see, it's okay if you miss, because you just spawn back like just beside of it, so this is okay.
Yeah, just use the idle, go back, and then no problemo.
I would say this is the most important air swim to do.
Yeah. We're doing the big air swim now, aren't we? Yeah.
Oh no, I came back in the area.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was saying this is the most important one to do. The reason is because you will need to have to go, my bad, on the Senpu Temple, a big area when there's a lot of enemies and etc. etc. But it's kind of long to do like the normal way, so this is why we are doing it.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, and as with pretty much every trick in Sekiro, it's harder than it looks. Like he has to get the delayed jump, he has to then ball jump right at the right time, and you can't really see like where he's aiming. As you see, like the collision just randomly ends, and so you just have to get as far as you can get, and then you can just walk through the wall, and then you need to make sure you don't fall off as well, and you make sure you land in the water.
this is the worst thing if it happens, but I ain't gonna jinx myself, right?
Yeah, if you fall out of bounds in this game, the only way out of it is to just wait for the failsafe to kick in.
At least like if it happens here and I miss once again, like the beginning of this run is horrible, but this is okay. This is okay. Everything is under control. I guess. I hope. Yeah, I was saying. Yeah, you have to wait for you to die, and it's like I don't know how much it lasts, but this is insane.
Yeah, I think it's about 30 seconds. There's a failsafe in this game where if you're falling constantly for 30 seconds, then the game just kills you.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing that it has that failsafe, because while falling you can't pause the game. So there's literally nothing you can do. You can't press any buttons. All you can do is slash the air. So you just have to wait 30 seconds for you to die.
Okay, please.
It's no problem. It's a tricky jump, and we've got the time.
Oh my god.
Nice.
Ew, this run is garbage, but this is okay. This is okay. This is Sekiro.
Yeah,
There's still
yeah,
plenty
we got
things
it. We
to
got
do.
it.
We can do good things later on. We'll see.
Yeah. So actually, this is again harder than it looks. So he's swimming in the air, and so his real goal is to just swim straight to Senpu Temple. But he's doing a bunch of arbitrary things, like he bonked his head on an idol. He like jumped out of the water there. That's all to get the next areas to load. Because if you just go straight where you want to go, it doesn't really load properly. This quit out is also to load the next area properly. If he misses any of this stuff, like he doesn't do it properly or does it in the wrong place, the game won't load what it wants to be loaded, and it will just crash, which will be very sad.
And if I go, like, I'm not going anywhere. Like, it seems I'm just going, like, I can't go anywhere I want. The reason is because there's actually, I don't know how to call it, but like, there's death traps, I will say. Then if you enter them, like, if there's 1 pixel of your character into them, you just instantly die. So yeah, that's a bad thing.
Yeah, there are death planes in a lot of places.
Planes, right.
Yeah, where it's like just random invisible boxes. If you touch them, you die. This is quite an interesting fight. This is Armored Warrior, probably not as you've seen it before, unless you've seen this category before. So this is an interesting boss fight. He has a unique mechanic where you can't kill him by hitting him, you have to knock him off the edge, which is very convenient for us because we can bait him to run off the edge, and that kills him.
Yeah, he just kills himself.
Yeah, very quick way to take care of that boss fight. Wasn't discovered for quite a long time, actually, I think.
Yeah. Everything's fine? Okay. That's all that matters, I guess. Okay, so now we're gonna do an interesting mid-boss. This mid-boss is like... this is why I like to say like Sekiro is a rhythm game.
Yeah, so this is the rhythm game boss fight. It's basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, actually, it might not be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know. If I'm not playing the game, I can't remember. It's like instinct. But basically, yeah, he only really has like 1/2 attack patterns, but they are big flurries of attacks. But you kind of learn the rhythm, and then you get loads of deflects.
The
I guess we've
problem
not
is
really
like
explained.
is
Oh,
really fast. That's the problem.
yeah. Yeah, we haven't really explained. So for people, I guess, that haven't played the game, like, the kind of you can kill bosses like you do in like Dark Souls, where you just hit them. They have health that's in the top left, and once the health runs out, rather than them just dying, they become death blowable, and then you go up, you do a death blow, which is like a little cutscene attack, and then that's the thing that actually removes the HP bar. But there's actually another way, which is the main way. It's like in the top middle of the screen, which is to deplete the posture bar. But attacking the boss also depletes their posture, but also so does deflecting their attack. So anytime LeCadd blocks right before he's about to be hit, he does like a parry deflect, and it has like the big orange sparks, and that does a bunch of posture damage. So that's actually usually the way that we defeat bosses. Well, until we get Mortal Draw, I guess. Yeah.
You will see Moldro really quickly now because we are about to get it. But first, the puzzle boss of the game, I guess we can call it.
Yeah. So this is monkeys. We have to kill 4 monkeys. It's supposed to be a puzzle. That first one was an invisible monkey that follows you around, but obviously LeCadd knows it's there, so he just kills it. And you're supposed to go around and interact with a bunch of the environment to like stun all of these. But Gachin Sugar here, which makes us like mostly invisible and silent, is pretty good, and it lets us just pretty much go right up to most of these monkeys. This monkey here has really good eyesight, so even while Gachin, we need to go around the back, but we just sneak up and take him out, and it's no problem.
Yep. And the little monkeys you saw just beside of him, this is ghost monkeys, I will say. And the problem with these monkeys is that if they eat you, like I think it's 3 times or 4 times, I don't remember, you instantly die because there's I don't know how to call it actually, but like they
call
yeah.
Yeah, they deal a status ailment called terror, I think it's called.
Yeah, terror.
And if you get terror, you instantly die. So yeah, that's great. So that was actually scarier than it looked. It's usually fine, but it can be bad. So we just got another memory, but also the Mortal Blade. So that's fantastic. And LeCadd is gonna get a bunch of skills now. The 2 that really matter are Makiri counter, so now when there are thrust attacks, he can stomp on it and deal a lot of posture damage, and also mid-air combat arts. So now he can deal combat arts in mid-air. Combat arts are like these special moves. I think the only one you're going to use is Mortal Draw, where he swings. Yeah, the
you can also use the prosthetics also while in the air. I think with that, I'm not sure you can.
It's a different.
Oh, maybe you can.
It's a different skill.
Yeah,
it's a different skill, but yes, you can do it. Yep. So now that we have Mortal Blade, the run changes quite a bit, because now we can kill stuff real fast. As you see, this Ashina Elite just dies in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, that was a mid boss, huh? Okay.
Yeah, that was a mid boss, not a regular enemy. So there's quite a few reasons why this Mortal Blade is pretty good. So firstly, Mortal Blade is just pretty strong. It uses up emblems to attack. The emblems are in the bottom right. He's got like 19 right now. Yeah, it's a bit of a awkward
yeah, it's something weird
landing
happened.
there. So
yeah, that's alright. Like I don't know why it's like Wolf just stopped when I was on the edge, so I had to like go back and do it again. But that's okay. The thing is, I don't know if I have enough health. I'm just gonna take my gourd just to be sure.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, there we go. So as you saw, there's a lot of snipers here, so I'm gonna go here, buffer an Echo Sugar, and we're just gonna fight him.
Yeah, so this is one of the really awkward mini-bosses where he's surrounded by enemies. So it's quite scary, but luckily by doing what LeCadd did, most of them don't pay attention, but he was still getting shot at by a bunch of different enemies.
Yeah, because there's this little guy up there. He just decided to like troll me. It can happen.
Yeah.
But, yeah. That's alright.
Yeah, so yeah, like I say, Mortal does a lot of damage. It uses up emblems, but that's okay. We have about 19 of them. It uses up 3 per swing, so we've got quite a few swings with it. And also on top of that, the jumping version, for whatever reason, doing it in midair makes it deal even more damage. We don't know why, it just does. It's probably a bug, but
Yeah,
we're
it
going
might
to
be
take
a
advantage
bug.
of it. And it's also just very useful to be able to use it to reposition. It lets you basically mortal draw while running up to an enemy, so it's just really useful to be able to do it in the air.
You can also go back in the back of an enemy like that. So this is pretty useful and pretty OP because like it doubles the damages. So yeah, that's insane. Like
Yeah, it's super duper good.
so when you combine this with sugars and the memories you get on bosses, yeah, you can do like absolutely like ridiculous damages on bosses.
Yeah, our goal is basically to kill bosses really
Fast.
fast. So we want a bunch of memories, and we sometimes will use sugars. So the Akko sugar increases the damage we deal, and the Yashirika sugar increases the damage even more, but halves our health. We're going to be using those. So here's a interesting fight because we're going to get hopefully a stealth death blow here that's actually surprisingly technical to get. So if you do exactly what LeCadd did there, where you crouch immediately with a Gatchin and you land, Snake Eyes just like notices you, but then just turns around for some reason, and then you can just run up, get a stealth death blow, and then you can fight her normally.
But sometimes she can like turn back instantly, and sometimes it's kind of scary, like a screamer. Like she just turn back and you can't death blow her. But no, this time she was cooperating. That's cool.
Yeah, so this is gone for in an any percent run very scary area, but it shouldn't be a big deal in a character like this. So he's getting shot at by loads of enemies, even with the Gatchin. That was very strange. They still spot him because they have unbelievably good eyesight. But actually he got through there without getting shot, so that's really great. Onto another boss fight here. This is the other centipede boss fight, so another rhythm fight. Can't get a stealth death blow here, so we're going to do 2 phases properly. After doing a bunch of swings, he's a sweep. So he could have stomped on his head, but it does even more damage to use the jumping mortal draw. You can see the damage is just absolutely ridiculous. So we're just going to use it as much as possible. So we do use up a lot of our emblems, but very conveniently, mini-bosses give back all of our emblems. So we're generally going to have almost as many emblems as we ever want. We're not really starved for emblems.
Nothing much to say here actually. We're gonna make our way to the next main boss of the game, which is the Guardian Ape. But first we're gonna grab some items here and there. Are gonna be useful for the rest of the round.
Yep. A bit of running here to get towards the Guardian Ape. Definitely quite a tricky boss fight.
And a scary one. Like everything, the fight can escalate really quickly. But if you do the setup like you're supposed to, it should be alright though. I'm just gonna grab the 2 echoes here. Always good to have some backup.
That's fair, yeah.
And I'm gonna take
Yes,
the idol before the fight as well, because we never know. Should be okay,
Yeah,
but
that's
we
fair.
never know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite a long trek back if it doesn't pick up the idol, so it's worth it.
Oh, it's easily
Yeah,
like a few minutes. Yeah, it can be long.
Yeah. So phase 1 is not too bad. Again, jumping mortal draw here will hard carry phase 1. Basically, this boss has a very kind of unique stagger animation that's in like 3 different parts. So what we can do is we can get the Guardian Ape into the last stagger animation, but rather than attack 3 times, which would cause it to like jump back and reset, we intentionally stop and basically get the boss into a loop. Although to be fair, you only saw like 2 iterations of the loop because LeCadd just absolutely annihilated the boss with mortal draw, which is fair enough. But now we've got Headless Ape, which is generally the trickier part. Has some really awkward attacks. when the boss screams, he's going to interrupt it with Mortal Draw, and other than that, he wants to get kind of deflects that lead into a deflecting that overhead attack. And if you deflect the overhead attack, Headless Ape falls over, which is really great because it gives us a chance to do a whole bunch of attacks, but also it means that you can use the spear there to pull out the centipede, which is a huge amount of posture. So as you saw, he just took out Headless in like no problem at all by using that spear. So that is pretty much the entire reason why we get the spear. There is another use for it later, but that spear has just a scripted mechanic with that fight.
It's still faster to grab the spear. Even we use it like 2 times, I think, in total.
Yeah.
But it's still faster to grab it than fight these two boss, without it. Like, so this is a convenient detour, I will say.
Yeah, it's cool that it's actually worth it to grab the spear. Luckily, it's really fast to get. So we've got the Mortal Draw, we've got the Mortal Blade, we've got the Shelter Stone, we've got the Lotus Flower, which I mentioned before is what spawns Owl. So Owl has now invaded
the Ashina Castle. So,
yeah, into the Ashina Castle, which is actually really important for a few different reasons. Like, what probably for us the most important thing to mention is that the Ashina Castle is now different. Like, there are different bosses in the area and that kind of thing, and so it actually deletes certain bosses. So we need to make sure that we've killed them before we summon Owl. Otherwise,
the
we
run
can't
is
complete the run.
So,
yeah. So this is 7 spears. He is not too bad with Mortal Blade. Just using the firecrackers just to make sure that the second Mortal Blade doesn't get interrupted.
Yeah, but trust me, on casually, this boss can be really pain because he's very, very powerful. This is a really, really powerful mid-boss, especially if you do it like at the beginning of your playthrough. This mid-boss, my bad, might be really complicated. But yeah, for speedrunning, you just Mortal Draw him to death. Like a lot of mid-bosses in this run, but yeah. So here, normally we should do another air swim. I'm not gonna do it. The reason is because there's actually an extra Yashariku sugar over here, so I'm just gonna grab it. Like, it's always, as I said, it's always good to have a backup items.
Yeah, I think the air swim saves probably like 8 seconds, something like that. It's pretty minor, and it means you can't get that sugar, so it's doesn't really make any difference. So in marathon strats, like, yeah, let's just grab that sugar.
So yeah, now we're gonna fight the Owl. So this is where you can decide, you have 2 choices. You can go for the Emerald Severance ending or the Shura ending. And this is where you will choose with this NPC here.
Yeah, so don't mash A, otherwise the run is dead.
Well, actually, you have a second chance to choice after, I think. But,
you do have a second chance, but if you mash A twice,
yeah.
then the run is dead. So don't do that. So yeah, but then because we picked the good path, we fight Owl. So this is an interesting fight. It's another example of the cheesing, but it's actually a bit more difficult than the others because there isn't a really consistent way to get Owl into the cheese spot. So LeCadd just has to adapt to what Owl does here. And just kind of do what he can, and Owl is not playing nice at all, but looks like it's pretty close to getting in the gap. Is he gonna do it?
Yeah, almost.
Oh.
But this is okay. I'm just gonna
close.
Go back on my position and wait for him to do something.
Yeah, this fight is pretty slow if you just fight him completely head on. I've done it quite a few times. It's a really fun fight, but Owl absolutely loves to just constantly jump backwards, as you can see, and it loses so much time because he constantly regenerates posture while doing that. But
Dude!
yes, nice, yeah. So now we get him in the corner, and now there's nothing Owl can do because we're not looking at Owl. Owl never blocks our attacks, and we can just rack up that vitality and posture damage real fast. And even better, we can carry this cheese into the second phase. So Owl does the bait where he tries to trick you, but actually we just trap him in the corner anyway. So this is so much faster than fighting Al. Even a really good optimal Al fight is much slower than fighting him like this. It's a really slow fight. But,
Actually, the problem with this boss, the problem I had is because this is a boss that loves, he actually loves backdash every time. So this is why it's really complicated to get him in the corner, but once you get him, yeah, you get him, that's okay. It actually happened to me before, then he get out of it, but it's pretty rare, to be honest, so...
yeah, it's
now
very
there's
rare.
a lot of mashing again, so if you have to send, something, like, I don't know, donation, something to read, to say, this is actually a good moment, because there's a lot of talking right now.
Interrupt us, Matt, if you've got anything. Yeah, so this is going to be more of the skipping the dialogue by using... That only works because we don't have subtitles on. But we do need to make sure that we get the things we need. If there is an item that Crow's going to give us in a dialogue, you have to still mash A through to that point of the dialogue and then skip it, and that's why you heard that he still had to mash through some of the dialogue. There's loads of dialogue here because you're supposed to like casually speak to Crow like a lot of times throughout the course of the game to check in on him and talk about, oh, where's the shelter stone, where's the lotus flower, and that kind of thing. But we just did everything without ever speaking to him, so we've just got a lot to catch up on. But LeCadd's actually already pretty much through it. So once that little thing on the desk lights up pink, you know that you've done it.
And now...
we're...
yeah. I didn't remember where to go.
And you also did some eavesdropping as well. That's to do with a different ending. So there is a kind of a... You could call it a secret boss fight? Like Our Father?
I think
it's like an alternate ending.
But we can call it like a secret, secret boss, since the game doesn't tell you that you can do that. Like, you have to...
Yeah, there's a bunch of kind of hidden dialogue options where if you eavesdrop on some conversations, and you can speak to Emma, which he will do, which lets you into the second Harata area. We haven't even gone to the first one yet, but we'll see it later, and it lets us fight Al for a second time in a harder fight. But this is actually a very interesting fight going on now. So this is Corrupted Monk, the non-ghost version of the Ghost Monk. So this is like True Monk. So what he's going to do, he's going to lead her to the edge here, and then stun her a bit and jump off, which looks a bit silly, but in this game, when you fall off the map, you don't die, you just take like 40% of your HP.
Our first try, nice.
Nice, and so you don't actually die if you're on high HP when you fall off, and this baits the monk into getting basically stuck, and then he's just going to damage her enough to do a death blow, keep pushing her back, and then by doing the death blow, hopefully...
This is the T-pause, yay!
Nice. So, I'm not sure exactly what happens now. So I always thought that she falls off.
Yeah, we say that she falls off, but actually she just disappears. Just like that, like, yeah. I'm actually very glad it happens first try. Because even on my PB, I did it second try, because this is really precise to do. So I'm pretty happy.
Yeah.
At least one good thing in this run, actually.
That's one of those tricks where you think, oh, that looks really easy, yeah, I'll just do that. And then you try to do it on your own game, and it's like, this doesn't work.
Yeah, and the problem with this glitch is that sometimes you don't understand why it doesn't work. This is the big problem I had for a long time, and even today there's some things I still don't know why it goes like this, but... It's like not, it's not self-explanatory, actually.
Yeah, we should probably say that actually there was another, like, unintended kind of skip thing he did there, where you're not supposed to just swim straight to here. There's supposed to be a mini-boss that fires lightning at you and stops you from doing this. You need to go all the way around the map to avoid that. But if you swim in very particular situations, that lightning gets blocked by the environment and you can get past the mini-boss. So he just jumps all the way out to here, towards the Divine Dragon. And he had to go past the carp, and the carp got him, but I think that's fine. I always get hit by the carp. I
Yeah.
don't know how people dodge the carp.
The thing is, I pressed the left analog stick to the forward, so you just keep swimming. If you just press B, it's just gonna backdash while in the water, so you can actually dodge big fishy, we'll say, the carp. But
Yeah.
that's okay. I had my my second life, so that was alright.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes, I don't even think we've really explained it, but yeah, in the bottom left, the little pink circles represent his resurrections. Canonically, Sekiro is immortal, but mechanically, that would obviously trivialize the game a bit, so instead we have a limited number of resurrections when we die. So generally, we can just resurrect once before coming back. There are ways to resurrect more than times, like if you deal a HP bar of a boss, then you can resurrect again usually, but in general we can just resurrect once. So this is the Headless, there's 5 Headless, I think? Or 4 or 5?
Yeah, that's 5. Yeah, there's 5.
Oh, yeah, there's
Headless.
5.
So he's trolling me really hard right now, but that's okay.
Yeah. So Headless are absolutely horrible. There's a reason why we haven't fought any yet, even those 5 of them. It's because we just want to leave them as late as possible. They're very frustrating enemies. We really need to use the Divine Confetti. Without Divine Confetti, you deal essentially no damage to them. That's the item that makes the sword all purple and shiny.
And and you take damage when you not deflect them perfectly. But you will see, the one on the waters are okay because even if you don't have the confettis, you can actually do damages to them. But like minimal damages. And you can dodge easily their hits. But you will see the next one are going to be like pretty pretty interesting.
Yeah, they're definitely not straightforward fights. This is kind of an interesting fight. So this is another bull fight. It's like a clone of the bull. But he's going to use an interesting mechanic, which is an intentional mechanic built into the game, which is if you firecracker the bull from stealth, the bull freaks out and charges chaotically, and if the ball then hits a wall, it just KOs itself, which is exactly what LeCadd took advantage of.
Yeah, easy peasy. You can't do that on the first bull because he notices you as soon as you get on in the how can I say, like the area. So you can't do it on the first bull we did at the beginning of the run, but this one, yeah, you can do this little trick. So we take advantages of it.
I think you can only do it on the first ball if you do it from out of bounds, which is not very useful at that point.
Yeah, right. That's true.
So yeah, we are coming all the way back to the start of the game. So this is the mini boss we skipped, like, God, who knows?
At the very beginning of the run, yeah.
Like 50 minutes ago. So this guy's gonna die pretty hard to the Mortal Blade.
He did the sweep attack, so I was wondering what was going on, but that's okay.
Yeah. One of the many boss fights which are surrounded by enemies, which make them absolutely horrible to fight, especially when you're going quickly, because obviously we could take it really slow and take out every single enemy individually, but that's so slow. So we just gotta risk it, and sometimes it goes horribly wrong, but it didn't that time, so that's good.
And yeah, so we were talking about the Headless. Now we're gonna fight the very first Headless on the ground, and yeah. The fun is dead now.
So yeah.
So I'm not gonna
really
talk at all.
Fights.
So
yeah, this is the only category that fights these because they don't give prayer beads. They're not in all beads and memories. No other category needs them. They're really, really annoying fights. We need to use the Divine Confetti because we do way less damage if we don't, and also Headless will massively slows you down. But once you hit them enough times, you kind of get rid of the aura. He's just going to obviously just get as many hits as possible. It's really important that he deflects the attacks because just blocking the attacks isn't really enough. He'll build up and take damage even if he just gets a block. And it's just very difficult to time the deflects because, as you can kind of see, Headless moves like very slowly and unpredictably. It's very, very difficult to time the deflects. Like sometimes it looks like He's deflecting like when Headless is barely even moving the sword. It's very weird. So it takes a lot of practice to just get used to it. But you did a really good job there. That was really fast.
Yeah. Just took one hit, and the rest was fine. Yeah. That was a cool fight actually.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna enter what is, for me at least, the toughest section of the run. We're gonna fight more Headless and a few mid bosses here and there. But yeah, this section is really horrible, in my opinion. But at least for me. You know, there's some people, they're gonna say like this is pretty okay, but yeah, I really find this section hard. So now I'm gonna talk to Emma. The reason I'm doing quit outs here is because you have to talk to her twice. But if I was talking to her again right after the first dialogue, she won't give me like the right dialogue. I don't know how to explain. I don't know if it's like clear enough, but
yeah, you basically kind of need to reset the area before you do the next dialogue. There's a couple. I think there's a couple different ways of doing that, but the fastest, at least in-game time, is to just quit out.
yeah. Well, you can actually take the idle, but
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the.
I just have the habit of doing it like this, so I don't think if it's slower actually, because now we are RTA, so maybe it might be faster.
Yeah, like I was thinking, like RTA for marathons, it might actually be faster.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm so used to do the quit outs that yeah, I just did the quit out.
Because we time using in-game time for the leaderboards, so any time that he spends on loading times or like on the menus, like while he's quit out, don't count. So that's why it's actually fast in-game time to do quit outs, but obviously not as fast RTA. So I did another dialogue with Emma, and that's just going to unlock us doing the. I'm trying to remember what it's called now. There's the third ending to the game, where we use the.
I think this is
the blossom.
Is it the purification ending? I don't remember.
Oh yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, purification ending. We don't care about what ending we get. That's not important to our run, but we do need to unlock that path to fight that boss, and obviously it's all bosses, so we need to do it. Oh yeah, another underwater fight.
Yeah.
Pretty similar to the last one.
I just I got one hit and I got killed once, but that's okay. He didn't give me like bad RNG, bad patterns or anything, but that's okay. The thing is, I'm not really confident for the next Headless, because there's one more Headless on the ground to do after. So I'm gonna take one other idol to have my 2 resurrection, because everything can go bad on this run. This is the problem with this run. It is so much fun, but everything can go horribly wrong, but like completely horribly wrong.
Yeah, pretty much every single fight has a very real chance of killing you.
Yeah.
There isn't really any fights that are completely comfy. There might be a couple, but out of the 45 fights,
Miss Noble, I will say, but
yeah, maybe Miss Noble's okay. Yeah, 40 out of the 45 fights are scary, and could definitely kill you. So again, mortal draw is just ridiculous. Combine it with the firecrackers, and they just don't stand a chance.
So I'm gonna take this idol. I'm gonna heal to have my second resurrection, and you know what? I'm gonna increase my life bar just to be like 100% sure everything is gonna be alright. Okay. Ooh! Whoa!
Careful there.
Like he was savage today. That sniper. Okay. I didn't get hit. That's all that matters. This is the memo for this game. Like this is like a thing like that I like to say every time I'm running this category. If I'm not dead, that's okay. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
If I do not die.
This honestly, this one's really not going that bad. I think if it wasn't for the streaming issues, we'd be on pretty decent pace right now.
Yeah, this one is okay. This one is okay for the moment.
Yeah,
but it's
the skip's taken a few tries, but I mean, yeah, we've still got a long way to go yet, including this Headless. Yeah, God, I really hate that swing attack. The Headless just kind of like stabs directly in front of you, so difficult to time, and then it teleports away, which is obviously a time loss, but it's actually also very scary because often the Headless tries to do like a grab attack immediately after coming out of teleport from behind you, and if you don't immediately hit the boss, then it will just like armor through, hit you with the grab attack, and it's just terrible all around. So it's really important that LeCadd just gets those hits straight away after the boss teleports. But yeah, no problem at all on that fight.
I teleported to the last idol. I should have teleported to Dilapidated Temple, but that's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, I didn't have like some good RNG on this fight, but yeah, that's okay. As I said, if I'm not dead, that's good. That's all that matters.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Right.
more talking now, more dialogue because we love dialogue. This is
Yep, so
easily one of the. Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
I know you're gone.
Yeah, I was about to say like this is if you played from software games, this is the one that helps you the most with the lore, I will say. There's a lot of talk in this game, so because I will say like from soft games, especially the Dark Souls, are pretty obscure games. I think this is a nice way to putting it. They don't tell you much about the lore and everything, and there's a lot of talking in this game actually. I mean,
Yeah, we haven't.
you notice it when you begin to speedrun it. There's actually a lot of talking in this game.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about it, but yeah, the story in this game is quite interesting, and the different endings represent the different ways you can resolve the situation of there being immortal people.
And there's actually no, I will say, this is not an optimistic game.
No.
If you do the endings, yeah, you will see it's not really optimistic. Except, well, maybe one. There's one. I don't remember the name of it, but I think this is the return of. I don't remember like.
Yeah, the return ending is like the hardest ending to get.
Yeah.
Kind of, and maybe it's optimistic. It's still not. It's not all happy fun times. But
well, it's not like a really happy ending, but still better than the other ones.
yeah, so this is a pretty unique boss fight. This is Divine Dragon. It's in 2 phases. The first phase, we've got to fight these little dragons. So they're not particularly scary, so we're not really worried about dying, but the main thing we want to do to speed up the fight is use these trees to do these aerial death blows, and there's a special mechanic. If you aerial death blow them, you do the big sweep, and that just insta-kills all the ones nearby. So we just want to try and use that to kill as many as possible. You can see the HP on the top left. Each time you kill one, it...
Can I go back on the tree? We'll see.
Oh, that was very unfortunate. Yeah, sometimes if you're trying to death blow one that's really close to the tree, it just cancels it, as you saw, and it's kind of frustrating. That was pretty good.
And the game didn't crash. Hallelujah. Because there's actually on console, I don't know why, but there's a chance of the game will crash here. But it didn't happen. Yay.
That's pretty frustrating, especially because that invalidates the run. So this is Divine Dragon. So this would be like, you know, Resident Sleeper auto-scroller, but actually we figured out that the thing that determines when you get to the next phase is based on, like, I think it's the HP of the dragon.
I think, yeah, it has something to do with it for sure, I think.
Yeah, so we can actually just straight up mortal draw the body of the dragon, which you're not really supposed to do, which still does damage, and it means that we need less lightnings, because the way you're kind of supposed to fight this fight is periodically lightnings strike these trees. You can see there's one on the left there with this lightning on it. He can grapple to that, and that will let him do a reversal that deals a good amount of damage. So this would be an auto-scroller where we just wait for X number of lightnings, but we can actually skip lightnings by hitting the dragon with the mortal draw.
Yeah, the problem with this boss, this is, I will say, the only RNG heavy boss in the game. It didn't give me good RNG, so I'm just gonna do the fight like casually. But that's okay.
Yeah.
It can happen.
Yeah, it's quite RNG specific on whether you get the right patterns when you want them and things like that. But you know, for a marathon, it's whatever. It's a very, very safe fight. I don't want to jinx you, but it would. I'm gonna say you're definitely not gonna die.
This is okay. I got my resurrection in case, so everything's fine.
Yeah, dying and needing to resurrect is definitely possible, but even then, because you can just like sit on the floor, like it makes it even safer. Because now basically in the second phase, the dragon just does a barrage of attacks, and it's just like a survival fight. All you have to do is just survive. You don't need to like hit the boss until right at the end. So it's just an auto scroller. So just dodge all the attacks, hitless, no problem.
And there we go.
And that is Divine Dragon.
That was Divine Dragon. Yeah, I didn't have good RNG on this fight, but yeah, you can still like recover, do the fight casually. This is not a complicated boss. This is, I will say, one of the easiest, in a way, bosses of the game when you do it casually, at least. So it's not that bad. You can get trolled for speedrunning, but if you do it casually, nah, it's pretty much it's alright.
Yeah, I would say this fight is supposed to be kind of cinematic and cool, and
Yeah.
not so much about being really difficult.
So now this is interesting because you will have the feeling that this is almost the end of the run, but no, there's still a lot of things to do. There's still a lot of bosses to do.
Now Divine Dragon's dead, he can go fight the final boss, but we've still got plenty of bosses to do. So again, this is another point in the game where there's like a chapter change, and Ashina Castle is now being invaded by the Ministry, which actually spawns a bunch of mini-bosses, as well as deleting some old ones. So again, we needed to have made sure that we had killed the mini-bosses that this chapter change deletes, which we have, otherwise the run would be invalid. And we've got some new mini-bosses to fight, and some new bosses as well.
Oh yeah, plenty of them. Here I use the Gatchin as a precise setup for the next mid-bosses coming up. I'm gonna try to focus because I can get trolled really hard on this one.
So this is a real run killer of a boss. Very tricky. We're going to try and do quite a specific strat here that saves a lot of time. So if it doesn't pan out, then it could be like 20-30 seconds. So firstly, we use that spear. That actually damages his armor and gets him to come follow us. We want to lure him next to that barrel, and that barrel needs to get shot. And then it sets on fire. And then boom, it gets when that barrel explodes, it deals a massive amount of damage. So that was basically a textbook fight.
Yeah, that was textbook. I'm pretty happy of this one actually. It was a really nice fight.
Like
I don't say it was a fight, but yeah, it was.
Sometimes he doesn't really follow you quickly, or the barrel explodes too quickly or too late, and the blast radius doesn't hit him. And you only get one shot with that barrel, and if that barrel doesn't hit him, you need to fight him normally, and he's obscenely tanky. Probably the tankiest mini boss in the game.
With his armor, yeah, I will say so.
Yeah. So it's. Oh, and by the way, we just like casually picked up the young bell charm. So you're supposed to talk to this old woman right near the start of the game, and she gives you the Kura's bell charm. But if you just never do it, she dies at this point in the game. But you can just pick it up a dead body, and that's what he did. He just sucked it up. Sucked it up because it's faster. So this is Demon of Hatred. This is like the extra super hard boss fight, like only for masochists, basically. Totally optional in the regular game, but this is of course all bosses and mini bosses, so we absolutely need to kill him. But you might recognize this arena. This is actually the exact same arena as Gobu, and yes, is the answer to the question. We can do the exact same thing again. So there are these invisible walls around the edge of the arena, which means that he can't fall off now, but if we get out of the arena, those walls despawn. So the first thing is LeCadd is getting the boss into this corner of the arena, so that basically the boss will get stuck, and because the boss tries to constantly move towards Sekiro, it won't get around that corner. So it'll stay there, which means we can get the boss to fall off.
I was checking if he was stuck, but yeah, he is. I might be... It won't fall immediately, I think, but yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, nice. First try on
on the jump, yeah.
On the skip, so good job. Yep, so he's just gonna, just jump off the edge and grapple back just to try to get him to jump off. There he goes, see you later.
See you.
That saves a lot of time. Like, because this boss is very slow, very long.
Yeah, fun fact, he that boss is the reason why I'm doing unrestricted category and not glitchless.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a quick fun fact, because the fight is really long. It's like he has like a 3 health bar. It's really long, and he can troll you so much you can instantly die in a sec. So yeah, we don't like it.
It's a very unique fight. It's super tanky, even with all the attack power. It's so many hits, 3 phases rather than 2. And he has tons of absolutely horrible deadly attacks, but we don't need to do any of them, so that's great. So yeah, we're in cleanup mode. So this is Headless Ape. This is... We didn't actually kill Ape. Ape's still alive. Here he is. This is kind of a unique boss because the boss is intentionally really squishy, because in phase 2 the ape spawns a friend, which we can see there on the right, but we can take advantage of the squishiness by just using a Yash, jumping Mortal Draw, and just dealing absurd damage stupidly fast, and the boss does not get a chance to do anything. So,
because
no problem.
I think casually you're supposed to do this boss like early on, I think. So this is why you can actually like just destroy him instantly.
Yeah, he's definitely squishy in general to make up for the fact that it's a 2v1 boss, but also, I mean, as you might have guessed it, like we're up to like the final bosses, like we're all the way to the end of the story. So now everything that isn't the final boss, we are very much backtracking and doing a lot more powerful than you normally would.
So here I just equipped the finger whistle. The reason I did that, we're not going to use it, but the reason I built it is because where I just killed the Headless Ape, there's actually another mid-boss who will spawn at this very position, but you'll have to build this item, because I think it gives you an item that can upgrade the finger whistle. The finger whistle. So this is the reason why I'm building it. I'm crafting it. We are not going to use it.
I did not actually know you had to craft it to spawn.
Yeah, you have to. Fun fact, isn't it? That's pretty.
Yeah, that's
pretty good.
So yeah, this is Harada. This is an optional area. This is an early game area. Like most people come here pretty early in the game, like around where you fight Gobu. So everything in this area is pathetically weak to LeCadd. So we've got a compulsory mini boss here, which, well, obviously we need to kill anyway because it's all bosses and mini bosses. But it is going to die pretty fast, so don't blink.
Yeah, it's gonna go fast. Oh, I missed it. Okay, that's alright.
I like how you just got the tutorial for countering thrust attacks. So Mikiri counter, and then just one jumping mortal draw and just instant, just a literal one shot.
Yeah, this mid boss is actually, I will say, the tutorial of the Mikiri counter. I will say. Because every single attack it will do, you can counter it with the Mikiri. I don't think we actually saw the Mikiri so far, right? I don't remember. Actually.
You did use it in just now, yeah. So I don't think you've seen.
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah. I'm stupid. Yeah, I just did it here. Yeah.
You did. You just did it now, but I think that was the first time. Yeah.
Can you just please? Oh, he doesn't want to.
Grapples are really finicky. It keeps wanting to go to a different branch.
Yeah, it's camera. It's dependent on the camera actually, not on the. Well, sometimes it's on the position of your character, but mostly it's on the when you're pointing with the camera.
Yeah, it's a bit of both. So
sometimes this is why I'm really going with the camera, to the grapple point.
Mhm. It just makes it a bit more consistent. Yep, so there's 2 mini bosses in Harada 1 and 1 boss, and then again 2 mini bosses in Harada 2 and 1 boss. So we've done 1 mini boss, now running over to the GZ fight, which is pretty sketchy. To be honest, I think the mini bosses in Harada are just pretty sketchy in general, because they're usually surrounded by other enemies. But we are pretty strong. But Jesus are much tankier than the shinobi hunters, so it's not going to be a one-shot with the mortal draw.
So now I'm going to use the Gatchin to sneak up behind him. I will try, at least. And it should be fine, yep.
Yeah, so this is another one of those stealth death blows that casually you probably did not think you could get, because you literally need to be right behind the boss for it to work. And the Gatchin is very much needed.
Okay, that was nice.
Yeah, didn't get interrupted.
Yeah.
Firecrackers worked.
Because yeah, you can get hit by a random enemy in the back. Depends on what mood the game is, but yeah, this time it was pretty nice. Please, thank you very much.
So this is now going on to Butterfly, who, as we mentioned, this is an early game area, so we're supposed to do this with like, you know, 1 or 2 attack power, maybe 3, and we've got like, I don't know, like 9.
Yeah, I don't,
Or
I didn't
more,
count, I
or
don't know.
more.
Yeah, maybe more. It might be possible.
Yeah, so it's, you know, we're just going to use a Yash to massively compress our power, jumping Mortal Draw, and it's just going to be like disgusting. Which honestly is really nice because, as you're actually seeing, like, Butterfly is actually, in my opinion, a very nasty boss. One of the hardest bosses just fight head on.
I think it is because you do it like very early when you do your playthrough, and yeah, this boss it can be a big problem. Like this fight can escalate quickly, casually. But on speedrun, as you see, it's pretty self-explanatory, right? Just
yeah, we just jump in Mortal Draw, get it done,
and there you go.
Yeah, nice. But yeah, she has many different combos. She likes to jump away. She like summons a bunch of ghosts. She has all kinds of stuff that's quite difficult to deal with. But we're just too strong. But even though we have Mortal Draw, he still had to like deal with one of her combos. So she doesn't just like fall over for free.
That's for sure. So now we can go to Errata 2, but first we are going to do like another mid-boss called the Shimmy Warrior. It's gonna be the first one. First of all, I'm gonna... Oh! Did you see that? I even forgot to use the Headless Ape memory, actually.
Yeah,
so...
you got 2 memories.
Nice.
It doesn't make too much of a difference. Once you're getting into like 9, 10, 11, it's only incremental benefits, but it's still a nice, like, you know, a couple of % more damage might mean you need 1 less hit, which is very much worth it.
Oh, I used the Gatchin. This is not what I wanted to do, but that's okay. That's okay though, because I grabbed some extras, so it should be alright.
So Shichimin are another one of the very awkward boss fights, like mini bosses. They're a lot like Headless in the sense that you really want to be fighting. Oh, that is.
Yeah, because I stayed in the area.
Yes,
but, that's okay.
I know. Yeah, I know what happened there. You pretty much need the Divine Confetti to deal a good amount of damage. But there's also a bunch of mechanics you need to worry about. There's the terror mechanics, all those purple orbs, and also the area that the boss starts in has this constant terror effect, which, as you saw, insta-killed him, which is frustrating.
I'm going to improvise a little bit.
Yeah. And the boss can just, yeah. And the other thing the boss can do is if the boss ever deflects an attack, then it teleports away, which is obviously a big time loss, and also it can make our Divine Confetti run out, which means we need to use another one, and that's not good, because if we run out of Divine Confetti, that's pretty bad.
You can actually do damages to him, but I tried once, I did it just once, and that was enough. If you are ballsy, I will say, try beating Yoshishimin without the confetti. You will see, you will know what is the real pain.
Yeah. He has armor to all your attacks if you're using Divine Confetti. He takes hardly any damage. He constantly runs away and does his big AoE. It's rough. So now we're in Horror 2. So it looks just like Horror 1, but now it's a late game area, so the bosses are much stronger. So that Shichimin actually dropped an interesting item called the Tanto. It lets us sacrifice HP to get some extra emblems. It just means we can Mortal Draw spam even more than normal. So why not? So you can see these bosses are a lot tankier. They don't just die to 1 Mortal Draw, but still pretty quick. We have the Spirit Fall item. So the Headless drop basically infinite use sugars, but they cost emblems instead. So we have basically infinite Yash sugars now, but they use emblems instead.
Okay, so now this is the stressful part. I'm going to try to...
Yeah, so this is a very tricky and very unique strategy. So he wants to kill this mini-boss, so he's going to do an a stealth death blow. And then he's going to use Blood Smoke, after using Vault Over to get a death blow in the back, which causes enemies to lose track of Sekiro, so that they can get a stealth death blow, so that he can stealth death blow that Lone Shadow. And that means that he can insta-kill the Lone Shadow, which otherwise would be a huge problem in this fight, because he'd have to be 2v1ing basically. So that lets him take the Lone Shadow out instantly.
I took an arrow in the back, but that's okay. I have my my Zorero.
And then he can just has to deal one more death blow like normally to the Jizu. Obviously, there's still more enemies off to the side, as you saw where he got shot, so it's very much quite a tricky strat. But you got it first try, so that's really good.
That's all right. I just because you're supposed to go in the kind of corner of the area, because there's a second guy shooting you arrows, and he can interrupt you in your combos, and you can get instantly killed by Jizu. But that was okay. That was all right.
Yeah. So
did you see the Lone Shadow though? He was about to not being in the blood.
Yeah, he was just at the edge of it. Yeah.
Freaking game, man.
Yeah, that a lot of runs died to that mini boss, harder than it looks. So this is Owl Father, the kind of secret owl boss that we talked about before. This is what we have to do all the eavesdropping to have access to. A lot of people consider him the hardest boss fight in the game. We can't cheese him against the wall. He has a bunch of extra attacks. He can turn into that owl and do a bunch of other stuff. It's definitely quite a tricky boss fight to learn. He has a lot of different responses. You just need, there's like 5 different things he can do when he deflects, and you just need to know exactly what to do in every case, and then just keep him on the ropes constantly. And whenever we can, get an immortal draw for that big damage. And yeah, LeCadd made him look easy, but that is a far from easy fight. Like casually, people spend hours.
Casually, this one is. I mean, you're definitely not happy when you see him again when you fought him like on top of Ash in a castle. Trust me.
Yeah. But I made short work of him.
Like I'm gonna use the memory. I'm not gonna forget to increase my power attack, and now I have to go. Okay. Let me just remember the game. I didn't know where to go.
I mean, I've got no idea where you're supposed to go. Like, I hope you're keeping track of what bosses you fought, because I have no idea.
Well, it's just I'm used to it, I will say, because at the beginning I was using my splits to remind me where to go after.
Yeah, most people use their splits to remind themselves which boss to go to next, because you're kind of all over the place, as you can see.
Yeah.
In this
there's a lot of things to remember, so yeah.
So yeah, I mentioned before that after you defeat Divine Dragon, a couple of mini bosses spawn. This is one of them. So this is the Red Eyes Elite. Again, Mortal Draw makes pretty short work of him, although we do need to do a couple of deflects. Nice, that was a pretty much perfect fight.
Yeah, it was, but it is really important to deflect his attack, because he one-shots you basically. So
yeah, it's like a it's a very quick double attack. So it's actually again harder than it looks, but.
And if you
need
just
to get it.
Yeah, and if you just like block the attack, not deflect but block, you take damage as well. So
yeah, it'll just probably break your posture. So you want to get a self death blow on that non-mini boss Lone Shadow, so that we can 1v1 the Lone Shadow that is a mini boss. It's a bit confusing. They both look the same, but one of them has 2 HP bars. So he's
and
a
the
mini
reason
boss.
why I'm doing the quit out is because now the other Lone Shadow is considered dead. So now the Lone Shadow is alone here, and I can just death blow him right there. Duck.
Yep, so this is the other mini boss that spawns. And with all of our attack power with the Ash, he just dies.
He just vanished.
It just dies. It's just...
Now we're actually getting close to the end, actually. It's not over yet, but we are getting close to.
Yeah, it's just a couple more cleanup fights, really. I mean, there's still quite a few cleanup fights, but we're getting there. So
the run still can go horribly wrong, but we're near the end.
This is the second Chain Ogre fight. It's kind of interesting because there's a bunch of other enemies that actually are more interested in fighting Chain Ogre. But to be honest, it's just another great excuse to use Mortal
The
Draw.
Mortal Draw, yeah. Yeah, Mortal Draw is really OP, as you can see. Like, we use it on every single fight. Except the Headless. I wonder what is, like... It might be a good thing. What don't you think, like, using Mortal Draw on Headless...
I think the problem is that Divine Confetti doesn't apply to the Mortal Draw.
Ah, yeah, right.
That's why it's not good for Shichimen or Headless.
Ah, yeah, right. Might have been a good thing, though.
I mean, I wish you could apply Divine Confetti to the Mortal Blade and then just Mortal Draw.
Yeah, and just
like one-shot them.
One-shot them, because...
So this, again,
Oof.
another really tricky boss fight. Loads of runs die here. You can see, like, I made a very tiny mistake.
It's okay,
Basically, there's a 7 spears stood right next to a really powerful enemy.
So I chose to die here, because it was there, I couldn't use the idol.
I think that's the first full death. I might be wrong.
Might be, yeah.
Yeah,
Actually,
which is really good to go this far. It's a shame that, like, it also kind of doesn't count because you chose to die. You could have got blocked, but it was just faster to die there. So I'm calling that like half a death. Yeah, so by doing like a very cheeky slide, he can get in between them, do the stealth death blow, so then you only see 1 HP bar, and now he's just going to Mortal Draw and just pray that he doesn't get hit, which of course did happen. Like I said, a lot of runs die to this mini boss, which is obviously absolutely heartbreaking to have like a PB pace run, like over an hour, and then...
Because when you're on PB pace, you don't take the idol I just stood before, so if you die, you go back on top of Ashina Castle, and yeah, you just cry, basically.
Yeah, if you're going for world record, then it's just over.
So here I'm gonna do something. If you're going for the legit route, you will fight the last boss of the game, Ishin here, but for more spectacular purpose, I would say, I'm actually gonna do the other mid-bosses of the run. And,
nice.
And I'm gonna do, Ishin last.
Yeah, I was hoping you were gonna do this, because it's...
Of course, man.
The run, yeah.
Of course.
The rules don't say you have to do the final boss last, so it's actually faster to do some other bosses after.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for hype reasons, we're gonna do it last. This is Orin. Orin, definitely one of the most annoying and awkward mini bosses, and a big reason is she constantly goes like transparent and you can't hit her. So we can't just wail on her constantly with Mortal Blade. We can get in one decent swing at the start of each phase, and then after that we just have to pretty much respond to what she does. So he's just having to go for deflects. And as you can see, Orin is actually pretty tanky. Like, you think, oh, it's just a... Like, this is Mibu Village. This is like, you know, mid-game... we were coming through here like an hour ago. Almost, and she still like tanked those Mortal Blades pretty well.
Yeah, she's actually really tough. She doesn't seem like, but yeah, she's really tough. And this is actually probably my favorite mid boss in the game. Casually, I will say, I guess.
Orin.
Yeah.
I mean, she's very unique design. I mean, I've been screwed over by her way too many times in randomizer to think about anything other than just pure annoyance. But yeah. So
another
another headless. Yeah. Again, no surprise we leave this headless right to the end because we want to be as strong as possible to make this fight as quick and easy as possible.
But this one should be alright because this is like an early game headless.
Yeah, but still definitely need to get those deflects, otherwise it could go wrong quite quickly. You see that terror gauge in the middle of the screen builds up really fast if he gets anything other than a perfect deflect. So he needs to not... He can only make a very small number of mistakes.
And that was okay, that was a decent fight. I took a few hits here and there, but nothing, no big deal.
So we're going over to yet another mini boss that is surrounded by enemies, so automatically very scary, can easily end your run. There is a bunch of monkeys, and this is where shurikens are finally useful. Have you used shurikens at any point in the run before now? I don't think so.
No,
This
I
is the
don't think
first
so as
time.
well. Yeah.
It's just for these monkeys. Like, that is how annoying these monkeys are. We've been carrying the shuriken around just for them. So yeah, do the stealth death blow, do some mortal draws. He's quite tanky, so we actually need to do quite a few. But no problem once the monkeys are down.
Yeah. I'm trying to think like if I'm using the shurikens elsewhere. Actually, I don't think. I think you're right. Like this is the only time
Yeah.
I use the shurikens.
If
Oh no, I
butterfly...
used them like on in Hirata one, just before the.
Oh yes, just
the
killed some of the
yeah,
mobs. Yeah.
because you one shot him. So yeah, that's useful. So another Shishimen here.
Yep. So again, we got to worry about all of his shenanigans, and so we've got to make sure that we're actually trying to dead angle the Shichimen by not facing him while attacking him, so that he won't deflect. Because if he deflects, that's a big time loss. But yeah, very clean fight. Nice.
Oh, thank you. And I don't think I don't remember if we mentioned it, but like when you like the first health bar after the first health bar, it will teleport it. It will get teleported instantly, no matter what. And as you just see, I was standing there, like in where he was, and then I just ran when he will be. This is not random. You can actually manipulate when he is going to be teleported. Yeah, I thought it was important to notice that.
Yes, each Shichiman has a bunch of preset spawn locations after they teleport, and I think how it works is the Shichiman always goes to the furthest away point, or some
right.
logic like that. So if we stand in a particular spot, we know where Shichiman's going to spawn. So it's the same here. As soon as he did that death blow, that Shichiman started teleporting, and LeCadd knew where they were going. That aerial death blow, by the way, not free at all. Looks easy. I've seen people lose world record runs to that death blow. At this point in the run.
You're right, because you have to do like
awkward.
Yeah, this is a little manipulation, as you just saw. I'm not going straight to the left where the boss is. I'm going to the right, and then I go back. This is a little manipulation, because otherwise you can't do it. Yeah, you can miss easily.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna take any risk. I'm gonna take my health bar full, and I think this is it, right? This is the last two bosses actually of the run.
Yeah. So
Genichiro again, and the main one Ashina. So well, here is more like Sword Saint Ishin, I think he is called. But,
yeah, that's right. Yeah. So yeah, this is big hype final boss. We've killed every single mini boss in the game, every boss apart from this one, and this is going to go pretty fast. So don't blink. So this is a 4-phase fight. Firstly, we're going to fight Ganitro. He's fairly straightforward. We're just going to use the Mortal Blade and Makiri counter there to deal a bunch of damage, and he's just a 1-phase. So then he uses his own Mortal Blade on himself to spawn Sword Saint Ichin, the master swordsman. So this first phase, not too bad, where he just uses his sword. We're just going to blast through that. Now he's going to pull out his spear. This is the scariest phase. The spear attacks are really quite rough. Difficult to deal with. But we're, again, trying to get through it as fast as we can. By deflecting the first attack of his combo, it generally interrupts it, so we want to basically always deflect. When he does that charge attack, that's a good opportunity to mortal draw. So nice, go through that. And so now this is the epic final phase, but actually it's easier because of lightning. Lightning lets us do lightning reversals, which actually just deals a huge amount of damage and is quite easy to do. So that's actually just going to make it easier. Nice. And also it's a great opportunity to do a mortal draw. And yeah,
and this is it.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, the
Final
fight was
boss.
really fast actually. I
Yeah,
don't think I ever did like a Ishin so fast in my life, but yeah, that was cool. That
Yeah,
was a
that was
nice
pretty much
improvement.
perfect.
Yeah. And now the
So,
finish.
yeah, just gotta execute him with the Mortal Blade. The only blade that can kill immortal beings, which I guess Ishin counts as in this case.
Yeah,
He's
he
like
is.
summoned
Yeah, this is
from the
yeah.
dead.
We'll say that, yeah, kind of.
And
And
time is coming up pretty soon,
yeah, pretty
so be
soon.
ready on that.
As soon as you see Sekiro Shadows Die Twice appearing on the screen, yeah, this is time. And time. That was it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good job, man.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't.
Congratulations.
Yo, thank you, thank you. Yeah, the run was pretty nice actually. Yeah, I'm pretty glad of it. I'm just gonna watch the IGT just for fun, but
Yeah, so yeah, like I mentioned, we actually used the IGT for the leaderboard, so yeah, like I was just going to check that.
yeah,
But
just
in
for
terms of RTA, you're 7 minutes underestimate.
yeah,
Even
really.
with
Even
all of
with
those
all the
internet
bad
issues.
things, yeah, okay, that's all that matters. Cool, cool, cool.
Yeah,
Oof.
so that is great.
Yeah.
Uh,
Ah, wonderful.
and
Okay.
honestly, almost deathless. The only death was near the end
It
where
was
it
an
was just
intent,
faster to
and
kill
yeah,
yourself.
right. It was an intentional death actually, so pretty
Yeah,
good.
just to reset that
131.
fight
This
faster.
is for a marathon, I guess. This is pretty good actually. Yeah, just for you guys to know that my PB is currently 1:19:58 seconds. So
Which,
compared to my PB, this is not good, but like for marathon, I'm pretty happy. Even with all the technical issues here and there, and I missed Gobu Skip a few times, air swim as well, but beside of that, I'm pretty happy because I did True Monk first try. Like all the things I wanted to showcase, you saw it, so that's all that freaking matters, I guess. So yeah, that was pretty
yeah,
cool.
the fights were excellent. Like, well done, LeCadd.
Yeah,
That was
thank
great.
you, thank you. I guess yeah, that's it. That was Sekiro
Is that
Shadows Die
all
Twice.
you want to say, or have you got anything else?
Oh, I'm gonna say quick shoutouts, I guess. The obvious one will be for you, Murtag. You've been
Oh, thank you.
commentating my runs since UKSG, so like a few months back now. I'm always happy to have you here. It's always nice
Oh,
to have
thanks
you.
so much, Ted.
And
I'm always happy to be here as well.
yeah, thank you. And the other shoutouts will be for the whole Sekiro speedrunning community. If you want to learn this game, like jump on. We have a Discord. You can find the link on the spirit.com page. You will be welcome like very warmly. Great community. If you have any questions, this is a good place to ask. And yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess. And thank you UKSM for having me closing the event. That was fantastic. I'm so sorry for the technical issues again, but I'm still happy. Like the majority of the run went well.
Hey, no, even if
Yeah.
yeah, even if stream died twice, you still did great.
Yeah, Sekiro stream died. And remember, guys, quick notes: New York servers are better than Toronto servers.
Yeah,
That's all I
they
want to
clearly
say.
pulled through for us.
Yeah,
So
just remember that. All right.
New York.
New York
Yeah, I'm
rules.
glad that we managed to figure out the problem.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess that's it. That's pretty much it. Thanks for having me, and
Yeah, cool. I'm gonna switch over to my mic feed, and I will give off the final report for UKSM. Thank you so much for your speed run. It was brilliant.
oh, thank